Good morning in there, out there. From in here, out here, welcome to the Sentimentalist. Hi, Mark. Here's Vivi. This is Jennifer. Next to me is Molly. We're all here this morning. Yeah, we're all here this morning. And I need a coaster. Yeah. And with my thumbs, I can't pick it up, but that's okay. There we go. Got two of them. So good morning. Boy, did I have a nice birthday. Julie made it a full garden birthday. New shears, a stool that's a seat, that's a stool, that's a seat that holds everything, and a guy to come and help me because of how much it hurts to move. It hurts to move. Does it hurt to move? Here. You're going to stay right here today. I have bribes. I have bribes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Well, I hope I need a slurp. Here's my slurp pillow. Busy week. Monday I was at school and stayed. Dear Kate, oh, there goes Molly. We're scaring them all off. There was a meeting there and I was a judge for a thing. But anyway, I asked them about how they're handling DEI, and they said, we have security around the school. There's so many migrant worker students. We have security around the school, and we are not going to take any government funds, so we're fighting. And they said a lot of the schools here in this area are doing the same thing. And we're gonna get them out of there, all of them. All the bastards will get them out. Keep your faith up. Not high. Just get through your day. And then I had, oh boy, Tuesday, a reading at Kalamazoo Valley Community College. And drove down and back on what, for those unfamiliar here, Route 40. It's kind of a 44 plus 50 round miles straight ahead. And I have never, I think it's the route of churches. You know, some roads are all box stores and stuff. This is all churches. And they're all different, one after another, and they'll have a sign out front telling you, you know, something bad about you or whatever. And they're all different. So I figure, poor God. I mean, God's got a real identity crisis here. You got to deal with. How would he know who he is? He doesn't know if he's Presbyterian, Catholic, Assembly of God, First Church of the Last Second. I don't know. Poor guy. But once I got there, what a wonderful group of poets. There were 5 of us. And I just felt really intimidated. Oh, Molly's got the stretches, or she's going for a bug. I mean, Jennifer. There was Kathy Magookie reading from her new book. And she read one poem where she had a dream about this guy and teaching her to write poetry and telling her when she got discouraged, telling her yes. Which is something I learned from Naomi Shihab Nye. I asked her one time, tell me one important thing about teaching, which is strange anyway, poetry, writing of, and she said, say yes. Say yes. All the time. And I believed it. So Kathy read her wonderful poems, and as you might or might not know, she was in a terrible head-on collision. Jackass went over the center line speeding, hit them head-on. And as she said, it's really a wonder she lived. She was in ICU for a good while. And I think Viv's going to leave after she's eaten enough. I think she's going to leave. And it was really brave and remarkable to see her there with one leg with the, those things on it in her arm, She's remarkable, and her wonderful husband, Reese, took care of her and was also injured and helped her recover with rehab. He had spent his career working with children with cancer, playing games, playing with them, staying with them all day. He's a beautiful man. It's just as simple as that. And he's always laughing. Vivi, I'm telling you, do you even going to ignore this? Man, I couldn't get her up, so she must be sleepy about something. Then there's Stacy Bodie, who his entire book is a book of grief over the loss of his father. The whole book, every single poem. What it took to write that book, I just can't imagine. If you've ever been through grief, to just face it down like that, wow. Then there was my old buddy Bob Haight, who's just the most generous, kind guy, and he writes wonderfully perceptive poems about what's overlooked. I need a sip. He's just wonderful to listen to. Why do we put just in front of words like that? He is wonderful. And then Denise Miller, who is doing this enormous project using all writing forms, plays, fiction, nonfiction, eraser poems, regular poems, prose made, and can she, she reads, it's like being at a song fest or something. It's so powerful. And she's basing it all on her great-grandfather, who was a slave, and she's been able to find out a lot of information. And he was a big, strong, burly guy, so they took him off the fields. Guess what they had him do? Here, Vivi. Guess, and then we'll let her go. Gee whiz. See, this is how I'm going to keep you here. Look at that. Aren't you attentive? Now look at the camera. Look, they have treats out there. They took him off the fields, and you know what they had? What his job was to do? To impregnate as many women as possible. Yeah. So they also had a big sign about DEI and what they stand for and et cetera. And I asked them, aren't you going to get in not get in trouble? And they said, well, we're going to try to survive as a private college now and not take any government funds. It's remarkable. They're small stories that are just huge and take lots of courage. Julie Stotz-Gosch was the person who led it, and she's the coordinator of visiting writers. Man, is she patient, calm, dear to be with, writes her own poems, teaches creative writing there at KVCC. She took me through the route where the tornado went through last year. Remember that, or read about that tornado? Wow. Devastation. 3 football fields wide. Whew. 3. Such kindness. And Julie had our car, but I don't drive it well. I'm not doing that well to drive. And but I made it, and following, in 3 miles, turn left. And I got there easily. But then to get home, I couldn't reverse it. I didn't know how to do that. And do you know that Reese, his kindness, led me all the way to, I would have ended up in South Dakota. But he led me all the way to 40 again, and I did the journey of churches. I was going to count them, but that took my eyes off the road, and that's one of the danger things. Anyway, it was a day of just living in kindness. It was remarkable. Just, that's what it was. And then last night, the landscapes workshop. Well, I tell you every time, every month, that these are just, I wish you knew every one of these people. And last night what I told them, I didn't tell them to do it. I said, I suggest one of the things we do, you can do whatever you want, but is to look at each person's poem and look for something tiny that matters in the poem that could be easily overlooked. And oh gosh, the conversation was remarkable. Well, right here where you have of, I think maybe in would strengthen it. It was that kind of thing where people would, I have friends who would say, so you spent the evening talking about the difference between of and in. Yes, I spent my whole life wasting it like that. It's a little hard sometimes to sleep when you think, there are people out there saving people and coming from Wisconsin and Indiana and Illinois because the gas was out here for days. And they had to come down and repair. Can you hear the geese? Holy cow. Are they coming over or are they landing?
They just landed in the middle of the pond.
They just landed in the middle of the pond. Oh, I wish you could be here. Oh my gosh, look at that. Well, maybe I can honk. Do you have a pet that's helping you through the day? Well, you saw 3 of ours. They really do. I just like to watch them, see how they go through their day. Boy, does Vivian know this house. Woo. Here's an idea. Bucket list for kids. Bucket list for your kids. I'll turn this over and see if there's something on the other side. I was really touched by our library. It has poems written on the walls and the ends of the aisles by local poets, Saugatuck Douglas people. We're very touched by that, you know. And in our house, we have bunnies almost everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's bunnies, baskets of bunnies, bunnies in hanging from a lamp. So I thought I'd end today with a Easter bunny and an other side of Easter, sacred Easter, a touch of Passover poem. Oh, I almost forgot. Secular Audacity by Joy Gaines Friedler. This is an just overwhelming book. It's Rabbi Heschel influenced her about getting ourselves rid of the difference between the sacred and the earthy or profane or whatever, and seeing things as sacred only. A powerful book with no imposing things. Title of the poem is I Almost Saw a Rabbit Today. He was wearing a Borson Homburg hat, and the sky was coated in blue after a night, clear, dappled with stars, a crescent moon's arc, all but rocking slowly under Venus's modest vigil. He looked at me. I waved. Then the angels, 4 of them, got up and walked from the porch, picked up the horseshoes, and began a game. It was quiet, silent really, silent as the star's light, except for the ring of the clink after each angel's fling, one horseshoe after another clinging to the rusty iron stakes. The rabbit sat up, watched a dozen tosses, then hopped on, none of us thinking it wise or kind to follow. When one of the angels missed, the game ended. And back on the porch, we talked it over. Take care. Try to be cheerful, be kind. Thanks for being with me. See if you can invite some more people so we can have a big gang. Happy Easter if you're an Easter person, and Passover. And what else?